Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to the final quiz stream of the year. Hope you all had a Merry Christmas. What did everyone go up to for Christmas this year? Anything? I hope it was nice anyway. We slightly overestimated the size of cheese board that we could eat on Christmas Eve, so we didn't end up actually making the Christmas dinner until yesterday. But everyone else have at least an okay Christmas? Is there a bit of a delay on the stream starting? I don't know if I am actually live yet. But yeah, this is our last one of the year. Okay, cool. Hey, Kelsey and Shane are here. Quiet but nice Christmas. Lovely. Yeah, I never know when exactly how long after it says I've gone live I actually go live. Hello. Oh, nice to see so many regulars here. No pubs, that sucks. I mean, we wouldn't have been in the pub anyway, but back home, Christmas pub, it's a classic. It's a classic move. It's got to be done. This week's beer, we're back on beer again. No eggnog this week. The Royal Execution, the final cut, modern bitter. I had a little read of the blurb. Just a kind of a modern take on it, the traditional British bitter, and it's from our favorite local brewery, Hop Hooligans. Not being paid to say this, but they're good. We really like Hop Hooligans. If you're ever in Bucharest, make sure you have some. What's Kelsey up to? Missed out on some family. Oh man, that sucks. But you have the dogs and eating food. That's the main thing. Well, family and food. Yeah, revolutionary. Yeah, off with his head. All right, so as it is the last week of the year, some fan favorite rounds will be making another appearance this evening. Let's take a look at what we have coming up tonight. As always, kicking things off with some general knowledge. Round two, good news, everyone. Making a reappearance. Round three, New Year's resolutions. The last Monday of the week. That's that's just a good way to look at Mondays in general. Then we've got do not do copyright infringement. Real old school heads will remember that. Round five, Mortal Wombat. I know we've got some people who are big fans of the first time around. Round six, Find the Flugelhorn making a return as well. Round seven, Order in the Court. We've slightly mixed up Order in the Sport, which was one of our early rounds that showed up a couple of times. And closing things out with general knowledge again. And also all the rounds will kind of more or less have a year roundup kind of vibe to them within reason, as far as we could make it work conveniently. All right, so as always, answers aren't locked in until you hit submit at the end of each round. But yeah, let's get on with it. Let's start round one, general knowledge. And we'll go through those. The first question is, one of the viral trends earlier this year involved TikTokers making dalgona. Is it bread, pancakes, coffee, or sandals? Dalgona bread, dalgona pancakes, dalgona coffee, or dalgona sandals? Which of those was a TikTok trend earlier this year? All right, question 2. Which member of the White House staff has not tested positive for COVID-19 this year? Is that Stephen Miller, Jared Kushner, Donald Trump Jr., or Kellyanne Conway? Yeah, and bring your friends. Yeah, the more the merrier, you know. It's a good laugh. All right, question 3. 42-year-old David Ayres made his NHL debut this year as an emergency goalie, blocking 6 goals to help the Carolina Hurricanes to victory over the Toronto Maple Leafs. So that's ice hockey is the sport. And what is his ice hockey adjacent day job? So does he drive the ice resurfacer? Does he sell hot dogs in the arena? Does he work in ice skate maintenance? Or is he a professional field hockey goalie? So 42-year-old David Ayres, it was his NHL debut as an emergency goalie for the Carolina Hurricanes. What is his day job? All right, question 4. The continent of Africa was declared to be free of the wild form of which disease this year, after having no new cases reported in over 3 years? The options there: tuberculosis, anthrax, tetanus, or polio. So the continent of Africa was declared to be free of the wild form of which disease this year? And finally, question 5. In which city were the cancelled 2020 Olympic Games scheduled to be held? Istanbul, Tokyo, Madrid, or Paris? So in which of those 4 cities were the cancelled 2020 Olympic Games scheduled to be held? All right, so obviously kind of a lot of people busy with families today. I think we've got slightly fewer teams than normal in. I think only 4 teams. We do have the Van Goghs and the ever name-changing Shane in, both going for that most wins of the year title. Unfortunately, no Sachivkas this week, I think, so they won't be able to claim the title. And of course, we do have past winner Cat Flaps in as well, so she may just tie up, and we'll have 4 teams ending with 2 victories in the year. Oh, and also we have another past winner in from the American time zone stream, but obviously different now with the holidays. People in American time zones can play it this time as well. So Megzor from a previous. Oh no, they're here. They've shown up. Late entries. Do you need anything repeated, Sachivkas? So I will quickly run through those questions one more time for the Sachivkas. Just what? That's the Sachivkas music. All right. So by God. So question 1. One of the viral trends earlier this year involved TikTokers making dalgona something. What follows the word dalgona? Question 2. What member of the White House staff has not tested positive for COVID-19 this year? Question 3. 42-year-old David Ayres made his NHL debut as an emergency goalie for the Carolina Hurricanes. What is his ice hockey adjacent day job? Question 4. The continent of Africa was declared to be free of the wild form of which disease this year? And question 5. In what city were the cancelled 2020 Olympic Games scheduled to be held? Oh, you got in just under the wire. We were about to start going through the answers. So we have, I think everyone in tonight has won at least once. We've got 3 two-time winners. We've got 2 one-time winners. So we could either end up with a decisive victory for one team on the year, or we could end in a 4-way tie for the year. All right, so given that one of our teams just arrived, we'll wait another few seconds. Yeah, but what was everyone up to this week? I mean, for our late arrivals, we were having a little chat for the people that arrived on time already. It was a challenge to write an end of year trivia that wasn't super depressing. What's that looking forward to in 2021? We are also waiting on one of the teams that was here in time. We're not just giving special treatment to latecomers. We are also waiting on some of the teams who were here from the beginning. Yeah, what's everyone looking forward to in 2021 though? Got to get better, right? It's got to be better than this year. Anyone got any resolutions? Or just plans in general? All right, so I think everyone is in now. Yeah, Battle of the Titans indeed. Winners, all of you. So I think everyone's in. So we'll go through the answers quickly. So first up, the TikTok trend was dalgona coffee. So that's instant coffee whipped into foam to resemble dalgona, a traditional Korean honeycomb toffee. Next up, the White House of the White House staffers mentioned, Ivanka's husband Jared was the only one who has not tested positive for COVID-19 to date. The other 3 all have. Kellyanne Conway, hilariously, her famous COVID test was broken on TikTok by her daughter, who hates her, just teenage daughter who. Obviously, if your mum's Kellyanne Conway, you hate her. Then we've got David Ayres is a Zamboni driver. That's also known as an ice resurfacer. So that was the answer there. Then we had wild polio. So the continent of Africa was declared free of wild polio this year, leaving only 2 countries in the world where the disease is still endemic. And finally, this year's cancelled Olympics were scheduled to take place in Tokyo. All right, so let's take a look at the scoreboard. Van Gogh's with a perfect round. Meg and the Sox, it's joint second place with 3 points each. And Festive Jizz and Cat Flaps tied on 2 points each in third place. all very close after just one round. All right, it's a real battle of the champions today. So let's move on to round 2. This is our good news round. We're going to be looking at some of the more feel-good news stories from 2020. We're going to show you a picture from the story with an element covered up. You have to guess what the missing part of the picture was. So let's take a look at the first one. Number 1, which pop diva rescued Kavan, the loneliest elephant in the world, from a zoo in Pakistan this year by relocating him to a wildlife sanctuary in Cambodia? Was it Madonna, Cher, Mariah Carey, or Celine Dion? So who's behind the white square? Madonna, Cher, Mariah Carey, or Celine Dion? The next picture. So how did 103-year-old Jenny Stainer celebrate? Sachiff, could you tell me how to pronounce that? Celebrate beating coronavirus earlier this year? Was it with a crispy Bud Light, an illicit Cuban cigar, a creamy chocolate milkshake, or a cheeky clarinet solo? So how did that 103-year-old lady celebrate beating coronavirus? Ooh. All right, next one. Which women's international football team celebrated receiving equal pay to their male counterparts for the first time this year? Which women's international football team celebrated receiving equal pay to their male counterparts for the first time this year? Is that USA, England, France, or Brazil? Okay, now next picture. In Barcelona, a string quartet played for an audience of 2,300 watts when theaters in the city reopened in June. Was that Puppies and Kittens, Cuddly Toys, Houseplants, or Healthcare Workers? So Puppies and Kittens, Cuddly Toys, Houseplants, or Healthcare Workers? And the final picture of this round. So soldiers were tasked with cuddling and feeding what animal displaced by wildfires in January? Was that beavers, wombats, black bears, or koalas? Beavers, wombats, black bears, or koalas? All right, so let's get our answers in for that one. Did any of you lot get good news this year? We tried to find some of the good news stories. My brother got engaged, so that was nice. And we started this trivia stream. I think that's good. Not really news, but I think that's a good thing. How about everyone else? And anything that could be described as good to be sifted from the rubble of this year? You know, silver linings and all that. All right, yeah, having a kid. That's good news. So yeah, I think that counts for sure. It was Billy. Billy got engaged. Yeah, I think having a kid wins. I mean, in your case where you wanted to have a kid, that's that kind of news that can go either way. All right, so everyone's in. We'll have a look at the uncensored pictures. Pictures they didn't want you to see. New vacuum cleaner. That's almost as big as having a kid. All right, so who? Another dog. Oh yeah, that's kind of in the midway point between a vacuum cleaner and a kid. All right, so let's have a look. Who was it? Who rescued the elephant? It's Cher. Cher. So that's an impressive time. I hadn't seen this angle of the photo. Yeah, Cher rescued. I aspire to that. Rescued the elephants. Good old Cher. All right, how did this old lady celebrate beating COVID? Oh, it's a lovely Bud Light. Oh, nice and cold. All right, next up. Which women's football team got equal pay this year? Brazil. It was Brazil. The censor version kind of makes it seem like they're all going to be naked under there. But no, they are indeed wearing Brazilian football kits. All right. This string quartet played to houseplants. These houseplants were then gifted to healthcare workers. And our last one was, well, the eagle-eyed among you will have spotted the Australian flag patch on that guy's arm. So it's the Australian Army. That narrows it down to two of them. And it was koalas. Cute little koalas. Certainly, it's less controversial to use your dog as a vacuum cleaner than your child. All right, so well done, guys. Let's see how the scores stand after that round. At this point, I don't know if Meg is talking about babies, dogs, or vacuum cleaners. Okay. Oh, the koalas. Probably the koalas. Yeah, let's take a look at the scoreboard. All right. Still extremely close. Van Gogh maintaining their lead at 7 points. The Sox 1 point back on 6. Then Festive Jizz and Meg on 5. Cat Flaps on 3. All right, so 4 points in it. Nice. Love to see a little 1 point, 1 point, 1 point staircase going up. Just means that everything can change at a moment's notice. Let's move on to the third round of the evening. Let me just bring that up so I can see it. New Year's resolutions. So this one, in a frankly brilliant pun on the double meaning of the word resolution, in this round, I'm going to show you some low resolution pictures of various celebrities who had big years in 2020. You just have to tell me who it is. In the case of actors, we do want the name of the actor, not the character. All right, so let's take a look at the first one. So you see the like pixelated, low resolution, New Year's resolutions. You see what we've done there? Who is the pixelated celebrity in this picture? All right, let's have a look at number 2. All right, third one. And just think, like, all of these people have, for one reason or another, had kind of been relevant this year. Next one. All right, so just try and see if there's any visual elements there. Obviously, we can't really make out the face, but the stance, the clothing, is there anything that's going to give you a hint? And the final one. Obviously, there are two people in this picture. You can name either of them. So we're not going to be giving out 2 points. You can name either of the people in this picture, not the ref. I'd be impressed if you named the ref, but no, that's not who we're looking for. Either of the two fighters there. I mean, I'm not saying that that people are fighting in that picture. It's so pixelated, I can't tell what's happening. All right, so get your guesses in. Yeah, just put one name, either name for question 5. You can put both, but you'll only get 1 point. I guess we're going to try and do dry January. That's our New Year's resolution. We'll be switching to a tea of the week on the trivia stream. Yeah, I tried to spread out the celebrities to like different areas of celebrity, different areas of fame, but you know, obviously some industries haven't really been churning out content. But yeah, get those in. There's only one name to guess for each one. This is very tasty. I like this one. I'll get this one again. All right. Just waiting on one team now, I think. Smack that submit button. Smack? Is that the right verb? Okay, I think we're all in. So let's see the unpixelated pictures. So first up, it's Taylor Swift. 2 bloody good albums in 1 year. So definitely one of the few people who had a good 2020. Then we've got what's a very colorful picture. Who is it? It's Gal Gadot. I'm not sure how to say her surname. She went viral earlier in the year for the wrong reason with that cringy Imagine video. But recently, the new Wonder Woman movie has been getting much better reviews. All right, next one. We've got, who is it? Well, we see the 23 there. So, of course, it's Michael Jordan. And obviously, just about every year is a good year to be Michael Jordan. But he was back in the public consciousness again in 2020 following that Chicago Bulls documentary, The Last Dance. After that, we saw, who is it? It's Kamala Harris. Obviously, having a big year. It doesn't get much bigger than becoming the vice president. And finally, we saw the fight between KSI and Logan Paul, internet celebrities come boxers. That fight was actually last November, but this year, Logan Paul announced the bout with Floyd Mayweather Jr. and KSI released an album, so they both had continued run of success. Yeah, so points only for Logan, not Jake. I can't tell the difference either, but you know, you gotta have an extra tricky one in there, don't you? So let's see how that affected the scores. All right, still a close run thing. Van Gogh's staying in the lead with 11, the Sox with 10, Festive Jizz and Meg with 9, Cat Flaps not having a great rounds 2 and 3 on 4, but there's plenty of time to catch up, especially with some of our future rounds. I think, you know, we've got a lot of variety, so some will be better suited to others. So we'll get on to round 4, another returning favorite. Yeah, Jake Paul also doing boxing just adds to the confusion, doesn't it? All right, so we've got the return of do not do copyright infringement. So old heads remember this one. If you were here for our first ever trivia stream, you'll have seen the first installment of this round. So I've recreated 5 classic music videos. You have to give me both the song and the artist, so 10 points are up for grabs. And to make it a bit New Year'sy, all of these songs are at the top of the Billboard 100 for different New Year's over the last few decades. So let's have a look at the first one. Do 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 do. All right, so song and artist, please. So that means there are 2 points available for each question. We had fun making these. So guess the song and the artist, please. Do 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 do. All right. Apparently, the only way I know how to express emotion with my hands is like a cartoon Italian talking about spaghetti. Let's see the fourth one. I'm seeing double here. 4 MJs. All right. Song and artist for that one as well, please. You can see the painstaking detail we went to recreating these perfectly. All right. So as always, when we got kind of a media round where you might need to rewatch the clips to have a think, we are going to take a short intermission after this round. But we've been speeding through it so far tonight. So I'll see you in a couple of minutes after the intermission, and we'll go through the answers then. All right, guys. I think we're just waiting on one or two teams. Hope you made the most of the intermission. Okay, well, that's normal, I think. All right, so hope you enjoyed those vids. We enjoyed making them. But yeah, we still waiting on a couple of teams. We've had a little bit of an intermission now, so we might possibly stick a timer up in a second. I know, yeah, it's very tempting to watch and rewatch those videos. They're just there's something about them, but we do need to get those answers in so we can move on with the rest of the rounds. And also so we can see what the answer to this one was. Okay, I think everyone's in now. Thanks, guys. Let's first see what was I attempting to recreate without getting a copyright strike. So first up, we'll just see. Obviously, we're not going to show a 10-second clip of a video, so we'll just see a little still from the first one. It was "In the Club" by 50 Cent. I think my physique's almost there. Or my physique's almost here. Olivia Newton-John, "Let's Get Physical." We've got George Michael, "Careless Whisper." Then we had the Macarena, or just Macarena by Los Del Rio. I think this is the hardest one for, probably the easiest one for song and the hardest one for artist. And then Gaultier, "Somebody That I Used to Know." So I don't know if anyone saw, there was a little teaser post out on social media. So that's what that was about. Me painting myself. Thanks for the words of support there, guys. I wouldn't go so far as to say they're better than the original reinterpretation. All right, so let's see how that has affected the standings. We're a 10-point round, so it's going to really change things. All right, and in this case, it has not. It's still 1 point between the top two teams. Van Gogh's still in first, and the Sox still in second with 1 point between them. Festive Cheers starting to fall back from the top two a little. Well, I mean, as the name would suggest. And then Meg and Cat Flaps kind of fall back a little. So top three kind of separating themselves, and especially that top two there, looking like a bit of a two-horse race so far, but definitely there's enough left to play that anyone can rise to the top. Let's get on to round 5. Mortal Wombats. So I think certain teams enjoyed this more than others last time around, but we love the graphic. People seem to enjoy the premise of the round. And just to refresh you on that, or in case you weren't around for the week where we played it before, we've got the names of 5 video games. In this case, 5 video games that were either released or were very popular in 2020. And we've changed one letter in the title of the game. I'm going to describe to you the new game created by changing one letter, and you have to guess what that new game is. So I guess, what were some of the ones we did last time? Like last time we had Italian plumber propels himself around a racetrack with the power of his own flatulence. That was Mario farts instead of Mario Kart. So they all work like that. So let's see, number one. So number one, casual gamers went crazy for this battle royale style party game during lockdown, featuring cute animated intestines, spleens, and stomachs making their way through a series of wacky obstacle courses. Casual gamers went crazy for this battle royale style party game during lockdown, featuring cute animated intestines, spleens, and stomachs making their way through a series of wacky obstacle courses. So try to think, the game is going to be mostly similar to the real game, just with that one little thing changed. All right, let's see the second altered game. All right, so number two, this long anticipated RPG promised gamers the chance to create any character they could imagine to explore a futuristic city full of technologies like BlackBerries, Myspace, and iPod Nanos. So let's have a think. Is it ringing a bell? Is the general premise of the game ringing a bell? What could you change in there? Just one character to change. All right, let's have a look at number three. Millennials who developed their taste in punk and hip hop from the iconic soundtracks of the original games love these remakes where you play an extreme sports professional pulling off gnarly tricks on bowls of Vietnamese noodle soup. So yeah, let's think. What's the one character you can change in the title of the original to get the new one? To get our twisted version. It's like holding up a twisted mirror to reality, man. Let's see the fourth one. The breakout indie game success story of the year features a team of astronauts who must evade a shape-shifting alien while learning a language native to southern China and northern Vietnam. Oh, two Vietnamese ones in a row. What are the odds? So the breakout indie game success story of the year features a team of astronauts who must evade a shape-shifting alien while learning a language native to southern China and northern Vietnam. And the fifth and final Mortal Wombat. The follow-up to the smash hit superhero game of 2018 features Miles Morales following in his predecessor's footsteps as a hero with the power of a bite-sized mini hamburger cooked on thinly sliced onions. So the follow-up to the smash hit superhero game of 2018 features Miles Morales following in his predecessor's footsteps as a hero with the power of a bite-sized mini hamburger cooked on thinly sliced onions. So remember, we're just changing one character in the name of each one. Does anyone need to see any of those on screen again? Let me know in the comments if that's the case. I think a lot of us were gaming a little more than usual. Well, certainly I did. I didn't even game that much, but I usually basically don't play video games at all. But everyone's stuck indoors. I think it's probably a big year for gaming. So okay, people need all of them again. So we'll go through all of them one more time. So starting with number 1. Number 1. Casual gamers went crazy for this battle royale style party game featuring cute animated intestines, spleens, and stomachs making their way through a series of wacky obstacle courses. So, intestines, spleens, and stomachs making their way through a series of wacky obstacle courses in a battle royale style party game. All right, the second one, a long anticipated RPG which promised gamers the chance to create any character they could imagine to explore a futuristic city for technologies like BlackBerries, Myspace, and iPod Nanos. Number 3. Millennials who developed their taste in punk and hip hop from the iconic soundtracks of the original games loved these remakes where you play an extreme sports professional pulling off gnarly tricks on bowls of Vietnamese noodle soup. And I think Jessica is also putting the full text for these in the chat. There is a character limit, so they might get chopped in half, but hopefully it does help with these. Let's see number 4. The breakout indie game success story of the year features a team of us who must evade a shape-shifting alien while learning a language native to southern China and northern Vietnam. And the last one, the follow-up to the smash hit superhero game of 2018, features Miles Morales following in his predecessor's footsteps as a hero with the power of a bite-sized mini hamburger cooked on thinly sliced onions. And all of those are now in the chat as well. Thank you very much to Jessica. So if you need to see, if there's one of them again that you need to just take another look at, have another think about. This one is a bit of a thinker, so I'm gonna just chat shit for a bit while you do that. So they're all in the comments there. So yeah, generally I'm not a massive gamer. Longtime players will know that I basically just play Final Fantasy VII once every couple of years, just a full playthrough. That's 90% of my gaming. I play Pokemon Go, but this year, everyone's been stuck at home. I'm usually stuck at home all the time, to be honest. But me and Jessica play Don't Starve together. So anyone who plays Don't Starve together, I don't know, maybe we could get a server going. Try and actually build a world that can sustain itself beyond like the first year and a half. Could be fun. Something to think about. Anyway, let's get those answers in. All right. Yes, I just had to settle. Does this get the point? Query. Don't worry, you got the point. All right. So 2 teams still to come in. So these are all games that either were released this year or they were very, very popular this year. So some of them actually were released a year or 2 years ago, but just really had a spike in popularity this year. Some of them actually came out this year. And I think we're just waiting on one team now. Oh no, everyone's in. Great news. So we'll run through the answers quickly then. So first of all, casual gamers went crazy for this battle royale style party game. Sounds a lot like Fall Guys, but featuring cute animated intestines, spleens, and stomachs. Those are guts. So change Y to T. Fall Guts was the answer there. So if you are not aware of Fall Guys, that was the one you get, like, they look kind of like minions, and you're running through like places, the floors dropping away, or you're moving a giant football around, or you're climbing and the water's rising and stuff. There's different like levels and stuff. It's fun. All right, number 2. This long anticipated RPG promised the gamers the chance to create any character they could imagine to explore a futuristic city. That's the general premise of Cyberpunk 2077. But the city is full of technologies like BlackBerries, Myspace, and iPod Nanos. Those are all things that were popular in 2007. So it's Cyberpunk 2007 was the answer there. Change the first 7 to a 0. Cyberpunk 2007. Number 3, millennials who developed their taste in punk and hip hop from the iconic soundtracks of the original games love these remakes, where you play an extreme sports professional pulling off gnarly tricks. Everything so far sounds like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. On bowls of Vietnamese noodle soup, that's pho or faux pho. So change the R in pro to an H, and that's Tony Hawk's Pho Skater. Next up, the breakout indie game success story of the year features a team of astronauts who must evade a shape-shifting alien. That sounds a lot like Among Us, while learning a language native to southern China and northern Vietnam. That's Hmong. Both HMONG and just MONG are accepted spellings, and both of them involve a single character change, either A to H or A to space. So Among Us. And finally, the follow-up to the superhero game of 2018 features Miles Morales following in his predecessor's footsteps. Sounds like the new Spider-Man game. But he's a hero with the power of a bite-sized hamburger cooked on thinly sliced onions. That's describing a slider. So it's Slider-Man. Slider-Man was the answer there. So a bit of a tricky one. Let's see how people did on it. Lateral thinking involved there. And some people did very well on that, though. Let's see. The final scores are in order. We've got a tie at the top, 25 points, and Festive Jizz 4 points back. So definitely looking very two-horsey at this point. But, still time for Festive Jizz at the very least to make a late surge. I mean, it's fine. We've still got 3 rounds left to play. Plenty of points still on the table. And we're moving on to round 6. Another returning round. Find the flugelhorn. All right, so it's another picture round, and with a tie, it's looking like it. It's looking likely. Oh dear. Oh boy. We've had plenty of tiebreakers in the last couple of months. It would be fitting to end with another one. So find the flugelhorn. We've played this a couple of times before. You get a picture, and I will describe something that you need to circle in the picture. So on your phones, you'll see the picture. There's like little controls at the top. I think by default it gives you a black pen, but black can be kind of difficult to see. So because this round is scored just by Jessica's lovely eyes, if you could change to like a real like neon pink or like cyan or something that's really going to show up on whatever the picture is, it does help the scoring process go a little bit quicker. And we'll take another look at your scores, Meg, because yeah, sometimes with the ones where it's just entering text, like typos and stuff can get miscounted. Anyway, we've got the pictures. Yeah, so change your colors, circle whatever it is. And if you do make a mistake, don't use the eraser. It's just going to erase the whole picture. It won't just erase what you've drawn. Just hit the back button. There's a little back arrow. So that's just a tip to bear in mind, because the first time I like did a test run, the first time we ran this round, so I tried to use the eraser and I was like, oh no, where did the picture go? But yeah, use the back button to correct mistakes. All right, so let's see the first picture and hear the first question. So which of these reality TV couples was not featured on the Netflix smash hit of early quarantine, Love is Blind? So for reality TV couples, which pair was not on Love is Blind? Okay, and let's have a look at the second picture. A familiar sight from the year. It's a Zoom call. We've covered up the different buttons. You just got to circle where the mute button would be. Often an important one on a call. Good to know where it is just by second nature without looking. So can you circle which one of those obscured buttons would normally be the mute button? All right, third picture. Another thing that we're all familiar with this year, various types of face masks that we can use to slow the transmission of COVID. We want you to circle the much talked about N95. Which one of those is an N95? We've heard about it a lot in the news. Which one's the N95? All right, fourth picture. So there haven't been a lot of movies out this year, which means that The Croods 2 was one of the biggest movies of the year. So here are the Croods, the titular Croods. Which one is Thunk? Who is Thunk of the Croods? And the final picture, we have a map here of Southeast Asia. Where did a meteorite crash into the roof of a coffin maker last month? So for this one, just circle a country. All the countries are different colors. So just, it doesn't matter where in the country, just make sure your circle is just covering one country. You don't have to do the whole country because obviously the countries of Southeast Asia are kind of long and fiddly and overlap with one another. So just do a circle that's within one of the countries that you think the meteorite landed in. It doesn't have to be the right part of the country. So just to reiterate that question, it's where did a meteorite crash through the roof of a coffin maker last month? So just indicate which country you think it happened in. You don't have to get the precise location, but just don't circle multiple countries. Just clearly indicate which country you think it happened in. All the countries are different colors on that map, so just pick a color and indicate which one. All right, so I know with these picture rounds, sometimes you got to do a little capture at the end. So that might take an extra minute or so to get those answers in. Yeah, I mean, we've all been. So question two, the Zoom window, something we're all very familiar with recently, I think. Recently, just the whole year, right? Weirdly, so my day job, I teach English online. So I had been using Zoom for like 3 years, and then all of a sudden, everyone was using Zoom, and it's like, huh, this is weird. I thought this was like this like obscure, weird little video chat program that no one I know uses. No one's heard of it. I'd never heard of it before one of my first jobs online, and now everyone's using it. But how was everyone talking to their families over the holidays? Zoom, different video chat, or was anyone able to see anyone in person? There's a few different options these days. Jitsy's pretty good. That's like a browser-based one. That's pretty handy. But when it kind of gets to like muscle memory of knowing like how to mute yourself, then you kind of forget, like if you were to look at it, you wouldn't be able to see it. So I guess it's seeing like where you are on that scale. WhatsApp calls, yeah. I mean, Zoom is very handy. I know there's some like other security problems with it. I don't really follow that, to be honest. So I know normally you're able to see your answers when you hit submit. We were having a bit of trouble getting that to work with this round in particular. Semaphore. Oh, like the flex. That took me a second because that is absolutely what someone would call an app. Like you would call an app semaphore, and I don't know what kind of gimmick you would. I mean, you could just. I mean, it's just an old timey way of communicating. So you don't even need a gimmick. Just have a video chat app called semaphore. And you live across like a bay or something, though, or if you both live on boats. I think we're just waiting on one team to get in now. So let's get through that capture. Choose all those traffic lights or parking meters or whatever it is they're asking for. All right, that's everyone. Yeah, that is the archetypical Zoom conversation, isn't it? All right, so let's have a look at the pictures. So here we are. We've got 4. All of them are from Netflix reality shows. But who was not from Love is Blind? That's Francesca and Harry from Too Hot to Handle, which was also popular kind of around the same time. Just a similar premise of getting... Oh, that was the one where they were like not allowed to do it, right? Anyway, they were not on Love is Blind, so that was the answer there. Let's have a look. Which one was the mute button? It's all the way over on the far left there. There they are, all uncovered. That's the one you use to mute or unmute in Dave's case. All right, so we've got kind of stylized versions of 6 different masks. The N95 is the one on the top left. Kind of got very characteristic yellow straps and a circular shape that kind of fits to your face. There are ones with a vent and ones without. They're both N95s. But the vented mask there on the bottom right is not shaped like an N95. Then of the crudes, Thunk is the sun. That's that one. That's Thunk. It's Thunk, Grug, Ugga, Eep, Gran. I don't know what the little one's called. And the meteorites landed in Indonesia, in northern Sumatra, around about here on the map. But yeah, if you just indicated anywhere in Indonesia, you got the point. Yeah, it was initially reported that it was worth like $1.5 million. That's probably not true. That was like, it broke into several fragments, and some of the smaller fragments that was found nearby sold online for a lot of money because collectors buy them, but it doesn't really scale by weight. So the massive one that fell through the guy's roof is not going to be worth like 70 times like whatever $10,000 that the people got for the little bits. Exactly. That's good logic there, Cleo. I mean, anytime you want to, like, it's like, guess where a meteorite landed. You're guessing Russia first, then Canada. I mean, go in order of surface area. But when I was showing Southeast Asia, surely Indonesia is most likely. And a couple of flukes there for the socks, which for a team in second place could be vital. Let's take... yeah, so obviously with these ones, they are checked by eyeball. So the scores that we are about to show you are not final. They will be final by the time we get to the last round. But this round does get double checked because it's a human scoring. But let's have a look at these prelim results where the Sox have taken a 1-point lead. So those 2 flukes, really, the double fluke really making the difference there, closing that 1-point gap and then opening it up on the other side. So Sox on 29, Van Gogh's on 28, Festive Jizz still just about hanging in there on 24, Meg with 22, and Cat Flaps with 14. So really the 3 at the top, and really the 2 at the top with just 2 rounds left to play. And we've got order in the court. So we've done order in the sport before, where we got sport things put in order, basically different numbers, match the number to the prompt. In this case, it's everything, all the prompts, all the questions are related in some way or another to metal, hence the order pun. And they're all kind of things that have happened this year as well. That's the whole 2020 part of it. the New Year part. So just to get you started, so you see what we're on about. The first one, number one, including the original, which was found in the Utah desert. How many monoliths have appeared around the world as of yesterday evening when we wrote this question? Obviously, the nature of this means that another one could spring up at any time. But as of when we wrote this question last night, including the original, how many monoliths have appeared around the world this year? Okay, question 2. How many weeks has AC/DC's latest album, Power Up, spent in the top 2 of the UK top 40 metal/rock chart? That's also as of today. All right, next one. Number 3. How many Grammys? Grammys are made of metal. It fits in the round. Don't dispute it. This is we'll say silverware. This is a silverware-based question. How many Grammys did Billie Eilish win in 2020? Number 4. How many people are currently in space aboard the ISS? The ISS is made of metal. Does it include the gingerbread man? Yes. The gingerbread one? Yes, it does. So that one is not made of metal, but most of them are made of metal, and the gingerbread one is included among the monoliths. Yeah, how many people currently in space aboard the ISS? The ISS is made of metal. Huh? Which you didn't hear question 2? You need it repeated? All right. We'll go to question 5. So I wasn't sure what was question 2. We'll repeat them, or you can see it on the screen. It's on the screen there, but I will repeat it after question 5. So question 5: the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers are metal. The Pittsburgh Steelers were the last remaining undefeated team in the NFL this year. How many consecutive wins did they begin the season with before their first loss? So the Pittsburgh Steelers were the last remaining undefeated team in the NFL this year. How many consecutive wins did they begin the season with before their first loss? So I'll just repeat question 2. Question 2 was, how many weeks has AC/DC's latest album, Power Up, spent in the top 2 of the UK top 40 metal/rock chart? And that is as of today. And they're going to cycle through at the bottom of the screen again. So choose the number that you think matches each question. This is a bit of a tough one. A lot of those numbers are really close together, with one outlier. What is the outlier? How many monoliths? How many weeks for AC/DC? near the top of the metal charts? How many Grammys for Billie Eilish? How many people currently aboard the ISS? And how long was the winning streak for the Pittsburgh Steelers? All right, so let's get those answers in. All right. So I know we've got extra Americans on the stream tonight. Anyone been following this NFL season? I've been making a little bit of chat about it from time to time on the stream. I don't know if anyone else on if any of our viewers actually watch it though. Vikings just went out in just disgraceful fashion. It's painful to watch. Which number was the Grammy question? That was question 3. Matt, you're a Bears fan, right? Still in the playoff hunt. Yeah, so that's question 3 for the Grammy question. I can't believe it. Why did we go on that winning streak in the middle of the season? Painful. It was painful. Just to shit the bed. Shit the bed when it matters. Classic. I mean, how do we have one of the best offenses in the league and one of the worst defenses? It's honestly, at this stage, I think pretty good chance that the Bears make the playoffs. I don't know that these Cardinals are ready, and Trubisky just seems to have really gotten hot these last 3 games. Yeah, I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl, but I mean, it's fun to be in the playoffs. Honestly, I mean, I think the Chiefs have it tied up. I don't think anyone in the NFC is really going to provide much of a challenge for the Chiefs this year. Who's the best team in the NFC? The Saints. Yeah, I don't really see that happening. All right, just 2 teams, I think, to get the answers in. So let's just hit submit. Just if you're not sure, just have a guess. I just noticed the nickname you've given me. I guess it does kind of fit, doesn't it? All right, guys, come on. 1 team left. I don't want to publicly name and shame a team, but I will. I will if it comes down to it. Okay, everyone's in. So let's run through. Let's run the answers. So first of all, monoliths. How many monoliths have popped up around the world? I think Romania. We got the first copycat. We were the fastest when it came to it. So the first one was in Utah. The first copycat was right here in Romania, God's country. And then now the count is up to 96. People love these things. Bloody monoliths. Stick them up everywhere. The one here, it was chef's kiss. Just looked absolutely bodged together in about 15 minutes. All right. Number 2. How many weeks has AC/DC's latest album spent in the top 2 of the UK top 40 metal and rock charts? 6 weeks. It came out 6 weeks ago. Spent 5 of those weeks at the top of the chart. 1 week, I think Iron Maiden were number 1 and AC/DC were number 2, but they've been like right there at the top for the 6 weeks that the album's been out. All right, then Billie Eilish won 5 Grammys this year. That's 5 Grammys. It's a pretty good haul. There are currently 7 people on the ISS. So those are the 3 bunched real close together. 5, 6, 7. It's a tough one to separate there. And the Pittsburgh Steelers won 11 games straight at the start of the season. Then they lost 3 on the trot, but then they snapped their losing streak against the Colts at the weekend. And they are also playoff bound. Division winners sealed the division with that win against the Colts. And the Browns losing to the Jets, which, holy shit, how can you lose to the Jets? And there we have it. The Sox with a 2-point lead going into the final round. The Van Goghs at 29, just 2 points behind. Festive Jizz, I would say, I mean, technically can achieve a tie-break situation if the Sox have a really bad round. And then bringing up the rear, we've got Meg and Cat Flaps. All right, so 3 teams in contention for the title, and it's the 3 teams who have 2 wins under their belts each. So one way or the other, someone is going to end up with 3 wins this year. Let's find out who it is with the final round. Round 8 is general knowledge again. And let's hear the first question. So, question 1. What caused the cancellation of a medical conference on coronavirus in New York this spring? Was it anti-police protests? A power outage? Was the space double booked by the last ever BronyCon? Or coronavirus? Duh. Okay, then question 2. What was the most streamed artist on Spotify this year? Is it Dua Lipa, BTS, Bad Bunny, or Post Malone? Dua Lipa, BTS, Bad Bunny, or Post Malone? Most streamed artists worldwide on Spotify this year. Question 3. What is the name of the McDonald's meat-free line announced earlier this year in collaboration with Beyond Meat? Is it McBeyond, McMeatless, McVeggie, or McPlant? Which of those is the name of the soon-to-be released meat substitute McDonald's line? Okay, question 4. 2 new species of mammal were discovered in Australia this year. What type of mammal were they? So basically the way this worked was there was an Australian mammal that they thought might be subspecies, but then it was reclassified into separate species this year. So what was considered 1 species before is now 3 species. That's why we say there are 2 new species discovered. And were they tree kangaroos, quokkas, spiny echidnas, or great gliders? So what type of mammal were these newly discovered species in Australia? Tree kangaroo, quokka, spiny echidna, or great glider? And the final question of the year, barring a tiebreak, which is still very possible, on this year's World Records Day, Andrei Maslov of Russia set a new world record of 20.91 seconds for solving a Rubik's Cube while doing what? Was it running 100 meters? Was it eating 10 raw eggs? Was it juggling the Rubik's Cube and 2 balls? Or was it throwing 180 on a dartboard? All right. Anyone need any of those repeated? All right. No one seems to need anything repeated. A great glider. Yeah, I think that is about right. It's like a glider, but better. You know how animals get named. If it's big, they say great. If it's small, they say lesser. All right, so let's get our guesses in. All right, how are we doing, guys? All right, we've got 3 teams in, 2 teams we're waiting on. I have to imagine it's going to be those 2 jockeying for top spot. It's not. Let's get those answers in. Let's see how everything has shaken out tonight. All right, everyone's in. Let's run through the answers. So, first up, I mean, I kind of gave it away a little, but yeah, it was coronavirus that caused the cancellation of a medical conference on coronavirus. The most streamed artist on Spotify this year was Bad Bunny. The meat-free McDonald's burgers are going to be McPlant. At least that was the name in the press release. Then the new species of mammal discovered in Australia were great gliders. They're like the marsupials. They kind of glide from tree to tree. They're like a flying squirrel, but a marsupial. And I think they're kind of related to sugar gliders, maybe. And then finally, Andrei Maslov solved a Rubik's Cube while running 100 meters in 20.91 seconds. All right. So let's have a look. Oh, you missed answer 1. Oh, you missed me saying it. Yeah, the cancellation of the medical conference on coronavirus was caused by coronavirus. So I think we can go to our final scoreboard of the year and see, do we have well, we know we will have a 3-time champion. Let's see who it was. And it's the Sox, a comfortable 2-point margin. Congrats, Sox. Three titles in a year. Absolutely amazing results. Well done to everyone else. Everyone here is a champion. You've all won at least one. Answer 3 again. Answer 3. McPlant. McPlant is the McDonald's veggie line that's coming soon. Yeah, so everyone on the stream tonight has won at least once before, and now that puts the Sox as the leaders at the end of the year. They won 2020, three wins. So huge thanks to everyone who has come. I mean, obviously, everyone on the stream tonight, the people that have supported us in the past. This is our first year, coming to the end of our first year. Obviously, we only started in the autumn this year, but we've really enjoyed doing this. Wouldn't be able to do it without you guys showing up. It's been a lot of fun for us. Obviously, we're still just getting started. It's just been 3 or 4 months so far, and we want to keep doing these in the future. Thank you for coming to them. Yeah, we do, of course. So sometimes we do. We don't do the US stream every week, but sometimes when we do, we'd love to have you there as well. And yeah, you've made doing this a lot of fun. We'll see you in the new year. Just all the best for 2021. Big things coming to all of us, I'm sure. And yeah, just we can't thank you enough for coming to these. So yeah, so Jessica's mom and dad will also show up from time to time on the American streams as well. All right, well, see you next year, guys. Happy New Year. All right, ta-ra. Do 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 do